there must be 5 days between the announcement and nomination day, and the election must be held a minimum of 16 and a maximum of 23 days after nomination day. Let's now go to the stage to see what is happening.
Thank you. Gov't. He is the former councillor for the Jamaican division. The former councillor for the Tivoli Gardens division. The chairman of the World Council of Mayors. The mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew. And his greatest achievement is not being the deputy leader of the Labour Party. His greatest achievement is his Marcia husband. Let us welcome the deputy leader and minister of local government, Mr. Desmond Mackenzie. Thank you. Thank you, Party Chairman Babu Mantiku. Most Honorable Prime Minister and Party Leader, the Honorable Andrew Holness and Mistress Holness, the band for the charming couple. Party General Secretary, Deputy Leaders of the Jamaica Labour Party, Senators, Members of Parliament, supporters and friends of this great and noble institution known as the Jamaica Labour Party. I greet you today representing our councillors and councillor caretakers across Jamaica. The time has come for our citizens to choose the next set of councillors to represent them at the local level. As a party and administration, we are facing the people of Jamaica as public servants with humility, knowing that the power to choose their local representatives is vested in them. We of the Jamaica Labour Party is confident that the majority of Jamaicans will continue to believe in the policies and the programs of this great Jamaica Labour Party. We in the Jamaica Labour Party by far have the strongest record of performance and service the Jamaican people in 76 years. In 1947, when the first local government elections under universal adult suffrage was contested, from that time until now, our promise to the people of Jamaica is that we are building for you and your community better representation under the banner of the Jamaica Labour Party. Under this administration, led by the builder himself, Prime Minister and Party Leader Andrew Holness, local government has been treated as a priority of public policies by this administration. We have been receiving unprecedented support. That is why the Jamaica Labour Party councillors and administrators have presided over one of the greatest transformation ever seen in this country in the history of local government. Nobody can question the competence, the commitment of this Andrew Holness-led government in executing policies and programs using local government as that vehicle of expression. And you have heard of the many programs that has been initiated by this administration. Ladies and gentlemen, labor rights. This government of Andrew Holness and the councillors have worked hard to restore decency, pride, respectability to local government. When they were there, nobody didn't recognize local government. Every time they speak, they're speaking a negative way about local government. Since 2016, we have implemented training programs to create more professional and seasoned representatives for the people. We have introduced programs. When I became a councillor in 1977, I didn't know what it was at that time to get certain benefits under a Andrew Holness-led administration. We have provided assistance for councillors to open offices, employ administrative assistants, something that never existed before. We gave councillors the responsibility of providing assistance for persons in their divisions right across the political spectrum. Back to school, funeral grant, building grant. What a government cares about local government. Andrew Holness government is a caring government. And I want the country to understand that this administration, when we provide resources, every councillor, regardless of your political persuasion, is treated in the same way. We don't play politics in local government. We are helping to change the face of Jamaica using local government as a vehicle of expression. Prime Minister, there are those who speak about their glowing love and affection for the poor. Let us ask them, during the period that they were there, to name one initiative that they did for the poor and the destitute of this country. They can't name one. But I can tell you about one that stands out. Right across Jamaica, we have seen an increase in persons living on the streets, not just in our capital towns, but right across Jamaica. What has been the response of the government of Prime Minister Andrew Holness to the homeless population? We have built drop-in centers. We have built shelters. Right across Jamaica, we provide 3 meals on a daily basis for all the persons living on the streets of this country. But those who profess that they love the poor, the most outstanding achievement that they can talk about was in 1999 here in Montego Bay, when there was an international conference taking place. What they did, they get dumper truck, scrape up over 30 out of them, and carry them and dump them in a mud lake in St. Elizabeth. We move them and put them in a place of safety, treat them with love and respect and dignity. That is what a caring government is all about. We have young people who have demonstrated the capacity to love politics. We introduce in Jamaica for the first time, never before in the history of local government. I invited the Prime Minister to come to JC, and we launched then the Youth Summer Employment Program. And colleagues, let me tell you this. This program has become the largest youth employment program in the Caribbean. More than 50,000 young people have gained benefit under this program. And over 300 of them have gained permanent employment across various municipalities in Jamaica. A first in local government. Andrew Holness government has done that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is of interest to note the National Solid Waste Management Authority, while I will say that we have not accomplished all that we want in terms of garbage collection, but the country must know that during the period before 2016, little or no investment was made in the National Solid Waste Management Authority. There hardly are trucks. But if you want to talk about one thing that they have stamped their class on, is fires. During their period, we had more than 60 fires across landfills in Jamaica. They spent close to $750 million outing fires. You know how many trucks that money could buy during that period? And since we have come into office, we have put in the necessary systems to ensure that we minimize the effects of fires on the country. We're not there yet. We're expecting 50 more trucks to come. And I want to urge councillors, urge Jamaicans to let us take a different approach to how we dispose of our garbage. We, as residents, must play our part in helping to achieve that success. It can be done. And we're going to be rolling out a new program that will take us to every nook and cranny of this country to speak to Jamaicans about the importance of working with us to make our country cleaner and better. We talk about the Jamaica Fire Brigade. Prime Minister, I wonder if you know that during their period of stewardship, they spent $650 million. Never say billion. $650 million on the Jamaica Fire Brigade island-wide. In our first 2 years in government, Prime Minister, your administration spent $1.4 billion in our first 2 years. And since that time, we have invested over $4 billion in the Jamaica Fire Brigade. Never in the history of that organization that is over 150 years old that they have benefited from a caring and understanding government of Prime Minister Andrew Holness. We have seen where Staten have reported that 95.8% of Jamaicans don't need to find a job, Prime Minister. The policies of your administration has taken care of that. But I want to tell you that local government has played a critical role in the productivity of the country. The local authorities, since 2016, and I'm not saying that all is where we want it to be in terms of the approval processes, but we have seen significant improvement over the last 8 years. And because of the measures that we have put in, strengthening the capacity of the local authorities, that is why productivity, peace and prosperity is on the upward movement, because the local authorities contributed in terms of building approval process $1.6 trillion to the Jamaican economy under the leadership of Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Never before. And all these policies, colleagues, have been able for us to build a better country. I am not here today to tell you that we have accomplished all that we want, but I am confident that they cannot go on any platform, on any debating stage, and challenge the performance of the Jamaica Labour Party when it comes on to local government elections. And so, colleagues, as we prepare ourselves for the day, I want to echo the sentiments of the party chairman and the general secretary, that we must go into the elections as a proud party. We don't need to go into the gutter with them. We don't need to be low. We have to go high, because we have enough. It is an election about our performance. And I am confident that we will achieve that objective. In the hands of the Jamaica Labour Party, you are safe with local government. We have easily the best modern day Prime Minister in the English-speaking Caribbean. We have a leader that has demonstrated the capacity, the understanding to make and to take the right decisions. We do have a leader that is not sure. I know where I am going. All of us in this room knows where we are going. A lot more will come.
Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it. Yesterday's gone, and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it. Blessings gonna find me here, oh yeah.
Jamaicans, both here and abroad, officers, delegates, party workers, senators, ministers, members of parliament, MP caretakers, and the foundation of the representational arm of the Jamaica Labour Party, our councillors and councillors caretaker. You give me great pride as I stand from my vantage point and survey the Jamaica Labour Party. First of all, you look beautiful. You look organized. You look purposeful. You look ready. Today, whilst I am down on the agenda, I am not the main speaker. The Minister of Local Government has ceded some of his time to me to make a brief presentation in my style. There are some points that I want to quickly go through. First of all, we would have had this election long ago had it not been for a global pandemic, an event that is a 100-year event. No other government in Jamaica has had to treat with such a global pandemic. And we handled it very well. To the point where Jamaica seems to forget that we have had a pandemic. And so there is quite a bit of conversation going on without the context that we kept Jamaica safe. But more than that, we recovered Jamaica stronger than before the pandemic. In this business, nobody is going to give government credit. Government has to explain to the people. It is an eternal obligation for government to explain to the people the backdrop and the context of the challenges, the plans and programs and policies to overcome, and the successes that we have managed to achieve and that which will come in the future. We can't be shy about it. Our light cannot be under a bushel. All of you in here are candles for the Jamaica Labour Party. You represent the light of the Jamaica Labour Party, and you must shine in every corner of Jamaica. There has never been a government of Jamaica that has had so many achievements to go and face the people with. You are well armed to go and face the people of Jamaica for any election. You represent a government that with great challenges we have achieved. We don't need to go to the people with deception. And I tell you this, I gave last year an instruction to the Jamaica Labour Party communication arm that we must reform and revise our communications policy to take out of it false and deceptive information. You will not find the Jamaica Labour Party promoting, circulating, distributing false, degrading, nasty lies about people, programs, policies, or anything. We do not do that. And there are many members of the Jamaica Labour Party that I have had to personally call up. We don't need to do that. When they go low, we go. We must communicate to the people the facts. And in this world of social media, where grievance politics and negativity sells, we have to work even harder to make sure that our story is in the forefront of the minds of the voters. So you face a difficult task, but you have to be constant. You have to be persistent, and you have to be consistent in giving the people the facts. As you prepare to face an election, it is important that you understand that you are part of a bigger picture. A pixel in a beautiful tapestry that is going to be created for Jamaica. You are an important part of it. And there is a mission that the entire organization is geared towards. And you need to understand that mission so that you can properly articulate the mission. When we started on this journey, and I assumed the leadership of the Jamaica Labour Party, I had to go and do some deep soul searching. Why did I want to become the leader of a country? Why would I dedicate my life to this? And I had to properly define it. I was born in Spanish Town, and I like to tell the story because I don't tell it enough. And there are people who are trying to tell my story, trying to define me. And I listen, I see all the lies they publish, all the falsehood and false narratives they carry. I don't always respond because I don't go through third parties. I talk directly to the people of Jamaica. When the people of Jamaica see me and hear me and touch me and feel me, they know I am real. I am from them. I am like them. I went through their struggles. I understand their struggles, and I'm true to them. I am your child. I am your son. I am your brother. I am your uncle, and now I could be your father. You are my family. So as I was shaped mentally, politically, by the experience of the 1980s, growing up on Cumberland Road in Spanish Town and then moving to Ensom City and witnessing and seeing political violence up front firsthand. Like thousands of Jamaicans having to walk to school because your mother never had the money to give you to take taxi, to come home and wash that uniform and iron it the next day. I know what it is not to have lunch money, but nobody in the world would ever know, because even though I was poor, I was proud. So when I say I love the poor, but I hate poverty, you understand what I mean. So after I have done my soul searching about what I need to do for my country, what was the mission? The mission was to move Jamaicans from poor thinking, poor way of life, move Jamaicans from poverty to prosperity. It's not just my belief. One DJ said it far more eloquently than I could say it. Every ghetto youth is a star. And I want every ghetto youth to realize that dream. Not prosperity for some tapanaris, not prosperity for some big shot, not prosperity for a few, but prosperity must be shared for all Jamaicans. Prosperity, therefore, was the mission. To move Jamaicans from poverty to prosperity. In a fair and equitable shared prosperity. Now, we recognize that to do that, we couldn't do it by ourselves. This room, though important and representing a significant part of the political capital of the country, we alone couldn't do it. And therefore, it was important that this message also be accompanied by another message, partnership. So as we reflected on our message as a political organization, we moved from poverty to prosperity to partnership for prosperity. That was 2016. You see that you are an important part of a movement. You are journeymen in this struggle to make Jamaica better. And in that partnership for prosperity, there are some elements.
You're seeing live images of the JLP all-candidate meeting at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is now addressing the audience, and we are tuned in because we are expecting the announcement of the local government elections. However, we take a break right now on TVJ. Please stay with us. Welcome back to our breaking news coverage of the JLP's all-candidate meeting live from the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James. Now, we are tuned in. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is still addressing the audience there. We are tuned in because we are expecting him to make an announcement regarding the local government elections. We're going back to our live feed where we'll hear what he's saying in St. James.
And that is what makes us proud, even if we're poor. And that is what makes us strong and believe in independence. Because we believe that we can convert our labor into value. We can use our labor to create wealth. That's what we believe. And so the greatest program, the greatest result of this government is to get our people employed. Starting a few days ago, released another record-breaking unemployment number, 4.2%. In my lifetime growing up, I have become used to double-digit unemployment. That is not something that anyone can undervalue and diminish. And it is something that this party must say over and over and over and over again. More people are employed in Jamaica now than any time before in the history of Jamaica. We have other challenges coming because of this full employment. I have avoided using the term full employment because, there are people who really, the slightest thing, they come and cloud the conversation with foolishness. And then it takes my time now to have to go and respond when I have other things to do. But really, we are at that technically in full employment. No doubt, there are some youngsters there that we need to bring in. There may be persons there we need to reskill and bring in. And we have started to put programs in place. We have been anticipating that to bring them in to the system so that we can get the benefit of their labor to continue the growth of the economy. But bear this in mind. When you put someone in a job, that is the most effective way of ending absolute poverty. It will not happen overnight, but if you allow it to continue, if the electorate is discerning of what we are doing and understand what we are doing and see the pathway to it and don't get diverted as they were diverted in the 70s, we could have been like Singapore, but we wandered off into fancy and rhetoric. Singapore now has a GDP that is higher than most developed countries. A country that was colonized. They're not better than we. They may have made better choices than we have. Jamaica needs a long runway, and we need to stick to that runway to make sure that the benefits of the policies that are in place can be realized. So, when we face the electorate in 2020, the high-level message was still there. Partnership for prosperity. But you couldn't face the electorate without understanding the pandemic. And therefore, the message then was recovering stronger. That was the message, recovering stronger. The message that people understood. And then we changed the message close to the end of the campaign to just stronger. Because the truth is, and it continues to be, that this government, this Jamaica Labour Party government, this Andrew Holness-led government is stronger than any other government that has been in Jamaica. Then we moved as the stronger recovery was there for all to see. But as a result of the pandemic, we had a fallout in the global supply chain, which precipitated massive inflation. Then we had a war in Europe, I mean, can you imagine one government in a small country just recovering from an economic crisis, having to deal with all of these things? But we dealt with it. Because pound for pound, man for man, when you look at the Jamaica Labour Party's cabinet for the government, it is far superior than anything else that is out there. And that is not just talk, that's substance of what has been delivered, which cannot be questioned. I don't have to go through with it. Reduction in debt, how many quarters of consecutive growth that we have had, the reviews of the international rating agencies, the people who know about economics, what they say about what Jamaica has done. But there you go. The essence of it all is that we are able to run the economy for 8 years without saying to you, the consumer, pay more tax. Some people forget what it was like between 2013 and 2015. But we must remind them when they open their mouth and talk all kind of nonsense. Now, there are some challenges. Everyone here in local government, when you go out into the field, you are going to be, I'm certain, accosted about roads. And the way in which the conversation about roads is carried. I mean, sometimes I have to shake my head because it is carried without context. And I'm just going through, I downloaded some articles about protests for roads, and I found a few of them interesting. I want to share one or two of them with you. This one is an article, April 29, 2013. Who was in power then? It says, St. Mary residents protest against bad roads, lack of water. Who was the MP for St. Mary Western? It says, Gale St. Mary residents of Mile Gully, Georgetown and Jacksontown in this parish yesterday blocked the Dresiki main road in protest over what they said are very poor road conditions and lack of water in their communities. This is 2013. The residents used a large tree to block the road, disrupting the traffic flow for hours before it was cleared by the NWA. The Member of Parliament, which I won't name, for Western St. Mary at that time, in which the communities are located, said he has since requested an estimate for work to be done on the road from the NWA parish manager, which he will present to the Ministry of Transport and Works. He said the estimate was expected to be completed the next day. But while promising that he would do all he can to address the problem, here's what he said. The roads had not undergone major work since the mid-1980s. I raise this because the context within which the conversation is going on about roads and the protests is as if this just happened yesterday. I toured Hanover, and I said it before, a lady, a returning resident, she saw me in the market and she made sure, in the strongest terms, to register her disgust of not having water in Chesnook, a lovely community in Hanover. And I checked it out, and Chesnook has not had water for a long time. And there are many communities like that. I did point out the number of other communities that we are bringing water to, including a massive pipeline relaying in passing Berlin-Otte High School and several other major developments for water in the area. In other words, what the government can do in 1 year of budget pales in comparison to what has not been done for decades of neglect. But the frustration of the people is palpable, it's real. When you get up and you don't have water, you don't care about that context. You just want your water. No! You want the water now. And so as councillors and councillor caretakers, MPs and MP caretakers, and people who represent, you have to appreciate the emotion of the problem first. So you have to agree, commiserate with them, but you would not have helped the situation if you didn't bring them to the contextual understanding of the problem. Because if you allow them just to vote on emotion, they will vote in a random way. And that is always a threat to democracy, the randomization of voting choice. To get over this randomization of voting, you have to have consistent and constant information flow about your plans, your successes, your achievements, and all that you're going to do to address the problem. And you must be respectful of the voters' feelings. So, I give you another one. And I just wanted to do this because, just listening to the conversation sometimes, it's my duty is more than just seeking political office. My duty is to make sure that we elevate the political conversation. So I give you another one, which I found quite interesting, and listen to this one. It's taking a little time to load, but here it is. And Mrs. Holness would probably know about this one. 11 Miles residents protest dust nuisance, bad roads. When was this? No, when? Anybody can guess when this was? This was the 22nd of July, 2014, a special day for me, my birthday. You would have thought that it was last year or the year before when we started the South Coast Road Improvement Project. Yep. Angry residents of 11 Miles in Bull Bay, St. Andrew, yesterday took to the streets to protest the deplorable road conditions and long-standing dust nuisance that have been affecting their health. You see what I'm saying about the context and what you hear and what they put on social media? It's as if this just happened yesterday. This has been going on from 2014. But what is the difference? It's not just sufficient for me to come here and say, well, this has been going on, so therefore don't blame me. What's the difference? Well, let me tell you what's the difference. The government that you have elected takes responsibility. In 2013 and 2014, they said they were going to do something about it. But which government has actually done something about it? We now have the Spark program that Chairman Montague, the Member of Parliament now for the era, he was the Member of Parliament then, will now have those residents, instead of them going out to protest, they can now participate in a new model of how public resources can be allocated, especially in these critical priorities of roads, to determine how the first tranche of $150 million that will be allocated to his constituency will be spent. And it is highly likely that that road, what's it called? Mile Gully. That road will be included on his priority list and be fixed. If it is not done, the Member of Parliament has come to the Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation, under which the portfolio of works is located. And he is likely to make special representation. But that road is going to be fixed.
Amen.
Jason. And I see the council for the area, who was quoted in the article as well, that Jason James, that road will be fixed. Now, so the residents at 11 miles were complaining about dust in 2014. When you look at that beautiful stretch of road that was now built, the South Coast Road Improvement Project, the people there in 11 miles and all of that stretch, they are seeing the benefits of a government that takes responsibility and acts. So the difference is that in times gone by, you were struggling without hope, without real prospects of change happening. And why was this? Because our economy was floundering. Now, because you made a good choice to put a good team in, to properly manage the economy without being a burden on you, but bringing more resources, we are now able to put in place long-term programs to address these long-standing problems. Why disrupt that? Why disrupt that? You have first, this is the largest ever allocation to repair roads. The largest ever. And I don't want to say everything here because I do have a budget speech to make. But I want to share with you one other thing, because again, the conversation needs to be put into context, and I'll share this one with you. So this one is about health. And I see Minister Tufton here, and you will be very interested in it. Hear this one now. Head of the School of Public Health and Health Technology at UTech, Professor Winston Davidson, says the bed situation and the bed capacity in the 4 major government hospitals in Western Jamaica is now assuming crisis proportions. You know when this was said? This was said June 29, 2013. And he went on he said something that I found very interesting about the population increased by 40% since 1974 to now, and services have not kept pace with these demands. He spoke about the Cornwall Regional Hospital that at that time he said was built 40 years ago. The Cornwall Regional Hospital has a bed complement of 417, and the rate of occupancy is 91%. In other words, it is a facility that is the main hospital in the Western region, which is almost always full. He said no major repairs have taken place in that hospital since it was built 40 years ago at the time. What is different now? Yes, we still have bed shortages. Yes, patients have to wait. We appreciate that, and we respect our people and we understand the struggle. But what is different is that for the first time in 40 years, because our economy is doing well, we are able to invest in healthcare in a big way. When you visit Cornwall Regional, when it is almost finished now, it is a total transformation. We have taken a building. We have spent billions of dollars on it to improve it. In addition to that, we are building the Western Child and Adolescent Hospital, which will increase capacity for service in the Western region. We are building and expanding a Type 5 clinic. I toured there a few weeks ago. And then look at Spanish Town Hospital, where we get so many complaints about the emergency room situation and the lack of beds and so forth. We are building a brand new wing, massive. Administrations before didn't do that and couldn't do that. They could only talk. So you are now in a totally different era of government. An era created by the Jamaica Labour Party. An era of stability and growth that needs to be continued in order to ensure that we achieve our mission of prosperity for all Jamaicans. I just use those two examples to try and bring the nation back to reasonable conversation about the challenges that exist. Getting closer now to local government, as we approach the people again to ask for their support, what is it that we are saying to them for this election? Again, the overall themes are still there. But now we say to the people of Jamaica, we are building for you and your community. Very important that you are a part of the equation. You, the people. And that mission is one that involves things like your parks, your community parks and national parks where you can go and recreate with your family. It was my great pleasure to officially launch the start of the Portmore Resilience Park. And when I passed through the Harmony Park in this beautiful parish and just see how it has transformed the space and how the people are transformed in that space. That's you in the equation. That's the building your community. That's the fire stations that we have built. St. Thomas, Hanover, all over, new fire stations. It's the new police stations that we have built. It's the schools that we are upgrading. And we want to continue to build for you and your community. But I know that as young people, and some of you travel, many of you watch TV, and you see the infrastructure in other countries. They look modern. You know, see no zinc. Everything straight and clean. And you say, well, I don't want to stay here because the quality of life that I am enjoying here, I want to enjoy a better quality of life somewhere else. Because for many decades now, the towns and buildings that were built, some of them a century ago, we have not had the resources to update and upgrade and build new things and make our thing look modern too. Everything is congestion. Any little town in Jamaica you go, congestion. You can't walk on the street. Everybody catch up up there, so catch up up there, so you go in our little shop, you have to tussle. But that is what local government is about. Transforming the local spaces to make it easy for commerce, easy for business, easy for people to have recreation. And so we are the first government I can't recall when, probably the building of downtown Kingston and New Kingston, and that would have been in the 60s. But we are the first government to now say we are literally going to purpose build towns. And the first one we have started with is the new Morant Bay Urban Center, where we took over a factory that closed 25 years ago, right? That they tried to do all kind of things with, spend all kind of money on it, and it never got back off the ground. And we have now taken it. And when you drive past here and look over there, you see the buildings going up. That is going to be the first newly built, modern, urban space in Jamaica for a long time. And we're going right across Jamaica with it. What is going to happen here in Montego Bay? Government is not going to physically do it, but in partnership and because of our policies, people are making the investment to put up modern structures right here in St. James. We're going to deal with Lucy, and I see Babsy out there say, Spanish Town, Spanish Town, Spanish Town. Spanish Town is a big one. So we have to plan the Spanish Town properly. But we're going to do Oracabessa. And we already now are quite close to starting Boundbrook in Port Antonio. So I understand the frustration of my fellow Jamaicans because I born and grew in it. I come from it. I see it every day. From 1865 to now, from that great rebellion, that struggle against oppression, till now, we are struggling, hoping, fighting for better conditions. If you see yourself as a link in that chain, as a continuation of that struggle, you cannot give up hope. We are seeing the light. We have now crossed into a new dispensation of Jamaica. Jamaica 2.0 is being built before your very eyes. And as I close my presentation to you as councillors, it means that local government can't remain the same way it has been. That there has to be radical changes to how local government operates. So I want the public to also know that though we are coming to you to ask for your vote and your support, we are also aware that you have concerns. And like everything else that this government has taken it on, we have done it in a strategic and systematic way to ensure that the results are long-lasting, fair, and equitable. So, as I said to you, I was going to be brief in my style, and it is not my show, but I love you all. God bless you.
Jamaican people, JLP say building time. Anything less, we not mind building for you and your community. Build up Jamaica along with JLP. Build up better life. You and for me. Building Jamaica for the JLP.
Prime Minister, we have listened to your charge. We are committed to the process. Nomination day is February the 8th. And the day we continue with the Jamaica Labour Party in control is February the 26th, is election day.
Jamaica is on the right road and the choice is clear, you know. We can't afford a standstill, got to make the economy grow. Now choose the red or orange light, them the one who stop us slow. But prosperity bells are ringing, now why the green we have to go. So give that green and we, and to give that green and we. Oh, give that green and we. Come say give that green and we. Give that green light. Jamaican people, JLP say building to anything less, we not realize building for you and your legacy. We will build up Jamaica along with JLP. Yeah. Build up better life for you and for me. We'll keep building Jamaica. So vote for the Jamaican, yeah.
Labourites, you hear the date. Let us acknowledge the management and staff of the convention center, the police and all the media workers that gathered here to take the message. Let us acknowledge our social media warriors that has taken the message on the various social media platforms. We salute the members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force who have been with us on the Jamaica Fire Brigade. We acknowledge the President General of the BITU, the largest and the best union in Jamaica. The 8th of February, you must make sure you go to your nomination center with your $15,000 on your nominees. And on the 26th of February, you must call me and tell me that you turned councillor and the Jamaica Labour Party has won a majority in every parish. St. Thomas, are you ready, St. Thomas? Portland, you ready? St. Mary, are you ready? St. Anne, are you ready? Trelawney, you ready? Hanover, are you ready? Westmoreland, are you ready? St. Elizabeth, are you ready? Manchester, are you still? Clarendon, are you do? St. Catherine and Kingston and St. Andrew. St. James, are you St. James? Let us stand.